Right Understanding to Help Others, Part 14.
Jai Sachidanand. I bow down to the Absolute Pure Soul within all of you with utmost devotion and oneness. My salutations, my salutations, my salutations. Jai Sachidanand. We still have a few pages left in the book, The Right Understanding to Help Others. We will read it further. I think everyone must have read the whole book a few times. I'm not just asking the professors, I'm asking everyone. You haven't read it, have you? Tomorrow come here after reading it, okay? Here nobody is seen at fault. If we say, why didn't you do it? He'll reply, sir, I was clearing my files. Okay, that's fine. You are forgiven. But our main motive is, as our familiarity with the Gnani's speech, with Dada's speech increases, it results in a transformation of the heart on its own. Its uniqueness is totally beyond this world. This is Dada's great discovery. If you keep seva as your main production in the worldly life, then you will get money as a byproduct. Every necessity of the worldly life will definitely be fulfilled naturally. You may be an engineer, a doctor, or a professor. Whatever skill or art you have in life, use it for others. Seva means to help the other person. During difficulties, if our intellect is powerful like that of a lawyer, then we can help. I will tell you how to bring about a solution to your problem. Pay me this much. That is considered a business, and it's correct. Nowadays, it's going on like this. In the olden times, people used to call both parties who had problems with each other, feed them, and bring about a solution at their own expense. It was one kind of seva, where they used to help the other person find a way out of his difficulties and bring an end to his misery. The doctors used to visit the ill themselves and cure them. It was a kind of setting. And the result of that is money keeps flowing in the house as a byproduct. Each and every necessity of life gets fulfilled like this. Here Dada says, serve all human beings. Whatever knowledge and skill you have should be used with the intent to serve others. That should be your only intention. You will continue to receive other things free of cost. Whereas those who did it just to earn money incurred a loss. We will now read further on that.
Jai Sachidanand, page number 26. Heading: The salvation of the world is the only production. Whatever is done in order to attain the self is the main production, and because of that, the byproduct is gained and all the necessities for worldly life are fulfilled. I only keep one type of main production for myself. May the world attain ultimate peace and may some attain liberation. Page number 27.
This is Dada's main production. May the world attain ultimate peace and may some attain liberation. The one who meets me should certainly get happiness. He should certainly not get hurt. The first step is he should not get hurt. For us, don't do things which cause unhappiness to others. That is more than enough. The second step is, may the other person attain happiness, and beyond that, may he attain ultimate peace, eternal happiness, and liberation. Here Dada mentions that he kept the self as the main production. He says, as you begin the production of spirituality, as you go in this direction and begin spiritual production, then worldly prosperity will come to you as a byproduct. For instance, if one brings a bunch of clothes to make rags, they are called rags, right? A factory for making rags. If you bring a bunch of clothes to the factory, cut them to make rags and sell them, then what is that called? And if someone says, we stitch clothes, we sew shirts and trousers, and whatever remains, that production, if clothes are the main production, then we get rags for free as a byproduct. The rags are sold at the rate of 50 rupees or 100 rupees per kilogram. But if there is a factory of iron, which makes machines for example, then we make much more selling its scrap. If there is a factory of stainless steel, we get more money for its scrap. And if it is of gold, then we get even more money for its scrap. The higher the main production, the higher its byproduct. If there is a factory of cast iron, and if its main production is making things from cast iron, then the worth of its byproduct isn't as much. Dada says, our main production is very high. He has kept his main production of such a high quality that it incorporates the entire world. Its byproduct will be of a very high quality.
This is my production, and I keep on receiving its byproduction. Compared to you, we receive a different, better kind of tea and snacks. What is the reason for that? It is because my production is of a higher kind than yours. Similarly, if your production were to be of a high quality, then your byproduction would also be of a higher kind. There is an intention behind every work. If your intention is to serve, then you will certainly receive money as a byproduct.
You will receive money as a byproduct, whereas if you keep money as the main production, then you will get restlessness and quarrels as a byproduct. This is a great discovery of Dada's, and he is teaching us to change our understanding as to where we are making a mistake. We do it by imitating others. He did this, so I will do this. He did that, so I will also do that. For that, read the current issue of the Akram Express magazine. It's on the topic of imitation. One certainly lives by imitating others. Everyone can read it. A child can read it. The child's father can read it. Everyone can read it. So certainly by imitating others, people will say, he will say, I had spent 2 million rupees to become a doctor. I had given a donation to the college to get admission. Now, where will he recover those 2 million rupees from? He will recover it from the poor patients. That is not the right way. Doing people seva, keep that as your main production. Then money will overflow as a byproduct. That is a guarantee from Dada's side. Therefore, there is no way out without learning this path. One is incurring nothing but a loss. When one considers money as the main production, all the time his intention is, this guy's a freeloader, he doesn't have money, what is the need to give him medicine? He will say to the poor patient, it is like this, it is like that, and send him away. Whereas if he looks at a wealthy person, he'll be useful to me, he's wealthy. If one harbors such an intention, then he will get such beatings that he will incur a huge loss in his next life. Because he is getting money in this life due to some merit karma done in the past life. It is not that he is receiving money because he is doing seva. However, he will earn money due to the merit karma of his past life. But currently, he is sowing rotten seeds, which means he will get rotten fruit in the next life. Therefore, this point is worth learning and worth understanding. So, whatever seva, whether he is a doctor, let me give you my example. I was an engineer. I used to do seva of machines. Some companies used to pay me 5,000 rupees and others used to pay me 25,000 rupees. But I didn't keep any difference in my sincerity. I used to provide them with the best quality of work according to my skills. Whether I received more money or less was a different thing. But ultimately, when I used to look at the balance sheet at the end of the entire year, my profit kept increasing. Some gave me less, some gave me more, but ultimately, the slab of my profit kept increasing every year. At that time, we get the assurance that the hard work we are putting in, if we remain sincere, the result of that will come in a different way.
Heading: An indirect way of serving God. All other production is nothing but a byproduct, whereas in this, all the things that you want are continuously received. Moreover, they come easily. Just look. Because people made money their main production, it does not come to them easily these days. They run around in a restless state and they go about wearing frowns on their faces. They have wonderful home-cooked food to eat and drink, and so much convenience. The roads are so nice. When one walks on the roads, his feet do not become dusty. Therefore, serve mankind, because God resides within them. God is seated right within. If you go search for God outside, then he is not such that you will find him out there.
Yes, a living God certainly resides within. He resides within human beings. An idol is considered as God due to installation of life by a Gnani, but in human beings resides a living God, so do his seva. Moreover, here Dada says, the roads are so nice. When one walks on the roads, his feet do not become dusty. People are traveling in buses worth 100,000 rupees, and trains and airplanes worth billions of rupees. Still, they run around in a restless state, and they go about wearing frowns on their faces. Why is that? Because they have made money their main production. Therefore, bickering, conflict, and dispute are going to come for sure as a byproduct. But if one keeps seva as the main production, then he keeps getting things easily. That's what Dada says.
You are a doctor, so I'm telling you to serve humans. If someone were a veterinarian, I would tell him to serve the animals. God also resides within animals. However, in humans, God has manifested particularly.
Yes, not only in human beings, but God resides within other living beings as well. If that seva comes in your share, then do that as well. In human beings, say a female dog has a few puppies. She is doing their seva. It is considered an indirect seva. Why is that? Because the outer shell, the body, is a totally different thing. God resides within the puppies, and the seva is done of the God within. She makes sure the puppies don't get hurt. She keeps getting the benefit. Her life goes on. Ultimately, in human beings, seva of our parents, each and every parent does seva of their children. However, it is a big responsibility of the children to do seva of their parents. It can be the mother-in-law or the father-in-law as well. For example, if they are going through old age, feeling helpless, and are in difficulty, by doing their seva wholeheartedly, we'll get such silent blessings from them our entire lives. Dada says, one does not have to face any miseries related to money, and doesn't have to face any kind of misery in the worldly life. Moreover, when we do seva of the elderly, we get its fruits in this very lifetime. What a discovery of Dada's! In humans, God is manifested particularly. One is indeed considered as God who has lost his awareness. We give the example of King Bharturi. In reality, he is certainly Lakshmichand Targaro. In reality, it is his role. He has the role of a husband, or the role of a father, or a grandfather. So the roles, one's belief is, I am a mother-in-law, or I am a father-in-law, or I am a father, or I am a grandfather, or I am a son. Actually, it is a wrong belief. However, if one can get rid of the wrong belief, and if the right belief sets in, then he himself is the soul, and he himself is God. Therefore, he is God, but with the wrong belief. Some may have the role of a beggar, some may have the role of a philanthropist, and some may have the role of a thief. The role changes, but someday or the other, when he attains self-realization and the state of absolute knowledge, God will reach the state of the absolute self. Therefore, Dada says, we should see the original self in the other person and do his seva. Keep that in our awareness, that he is definitely God. Don't see him through any other perspective. Our mind spoils while doing seva. Why is that? Because the mind has been filled with garbage in the past life. That is why one does it happily for some time, but then he gets irritated. Take your medicines fast. I have so much work to do. You just keep bickering. Bring this and bring that. If you end up getting irritated like this, do pratikraman. I want to do seva without spoiling my intent. With great difficulty, we got such excellent circumstances for doing seva, but if the intent keeps spoiling while doing it, then such weaknesses will not do. We should improve that. And the law is such that, as we do more seva, that much strength arises in the body. The law is such. For instance, if we want to climb a mountain, then the required strength certainly arises on that day. All kinds of physical or mental strength certainly arises in our body for the adversities coming forth. Hence, if we have decided heartily, I want to do seva of the elderly wholeheartedly, then the ultimate strength arises for sure.
Heading: The path of liberation lies ahead of the path of helping others. Questioner: How is the path to liberation superior than the path of community service? Please explain that a little. Dada Shri: If you are to ask a social worker, who are you? He would say, I am a social worker. What would he say? Page number 28. That is precisely what he would say, isn't it? Or would he say something else? Questioner: That is exactly what he would say. Dada Shri: So to say I am a social worker, that is egoism. Whereas if I were to ask this man here, who are you? Then he would say, for recognition in the world, I am Chandubhai, and really speaking, I am a pure soul. Then that is without egoism. The ego of a social worker is for a good cause, but it is an ego nonetheless. If one's ego were to be used for a bad cause, then he would be considered a demon. And if the ego were to be used for a good cause, then he would be considered a celestial being. The ego is still an ego. The ego means that one has to wander life after life, and the moment the ego comes to an end, liberation can be experienced right here.
Yes, egoism is his foundation. I am a social worker. We don't need to tell anyone in the worldly interaction, you people are doing all this based on egoism. We don't need to say this to anyone. However, Dada reveals the mystery through spiritual science as to what prevails in his belief. I am a social worker. I am serving my caste. I am serving my society. I am doing it and I am Chandubhai. On the foundation of such a wrong belief, that is referred to as egoism. Even though he does seva through that egoism, because his intention is that of doing good for others, he is considered like a celestial being. If one has egoism to cause harm to others, then that is considered as having a beastly nature. Whereas this person says, I am a pure soul. Hence, his egoism has dissolved. His wrong belief was eliminated, and he will progress on the path of moksha. Otherwise, if egoism exists, and he does good for others, then he binds merit karma, and the fruit of that merit karma will result in worldly life again. If one does bad things or wrong things, then demerit karma is bound, and the fruit of that demerit karma will cause him unhappiness. When egoism dissolves, one attains moksha. To do seva and to help others is the ultimate thing in the stages of development. As long as you have not attained the path of moksha, spend your life helping others. The thing even beyond that is the path of moksha. Thereafter, wandering in the worldly life will stop, because even after doing the highest seva, if the ignorance of the self exists, then karma will be bound. There is no assurance as to where he will end up in a few lifetimes. That's what Dada says. So, helping others is much better than hurting others. However, Dada reveals the goal beyond that while doing seva. To attain the knowledge of the pure soul is the highest and the ultimate thing.
Deepakbhai, here in page number 24, Dada says, if spirituality is in this direction, then worldly prosperity is in the opposite direction.
Yes, if this is north, then that is south.
So Deepakbhai, if I set this statement, if I go towards spirituality, then the byproduct, if I go towards this direction, then how will I get the opposite direction?
Byproduction means you don't need to think about your basic necessities like food, shelter, and medicine. There is no need to think about that. There is no need to think about desserts or anything else. You will get everything. Dada says, keep spirituality as your main production. Let me give you an example. When I walk out of the house, every day there is a new car to pick me up. I tell them, I just have to go nearby. They say, no, please sit in our car. Because we are doing Dada and keeping that as our main production, the cars keep coming as a byproduct. We need to use this body to travel. We need to go somewhere, don't we? So for the body to go, my lunch comes from 5 different kitchens daily. Sometimes if one of them is less, then it comes from 4 places. When Mahatmas come for devotional viewing, they bring so many snacks. I have to eat everything like an ant. I eat in the proportion of an ant. One morsel, like half a pulse. There are so many items. They keep coming. I can't say no. Now, the body will get whatever is necessary for it. We don't need to think for this body. We need to prevail as a self and keep the self as the main production. Because we have certainly received this body. Whatever karma we had bound in the past life, due to that we are certainly going to get a body. We will get a mind, speech and body, and it will need food, shelter, etc. for sure. So we don't have to enjoy that part with the belief, I am the body. We have to clear it while prevailing as a self. So both the directions are certainly different, but still both are together. For example, if we want to go to Ahmedabad, then either we'll use a car or we'll walk. We will definitely need some kind of a vehicle. There is no need to think about the vehicle. Keep your thoughts on the main production. This is a very big discovery of Dada's.
Deepakbhai, you said that as we progress towards the path of spirituality, we keep getting other things as a byproduct.
Where do we keep going?
You said as we move towards the path of spirituality. You said that for you, everything comes on its own, like a car, food, etc. So if the inner tendencies take pleasure from the worldly life, then will that create an obstacle in spirituality?
Yes, it creates a very big obstacle. The illusory attachment of indulging in the pleasures of worldly life is the biggest obstacle for remaining in the self. There is no place for doubt here at all. When you go to take pleasure from the outside, the bliss of the self stops. If you are roaming around to eat in a hotel, then you aren't able to eat at home, right? One needs to do penance for the bliss of the self. I don't want to take pleasure from the worldly life. I want to remain in the bliss of the self. As long as the bliss of the self hasn't arisen, one needs to do penance in the worldly pleasures. No, I don't want to take happiness from this. The mind is being satisfied, but I don't have a desire for it. In this way, after a long time, when the penance finishes, we will be able to remain in the bliss of the self. However, we have Jnana, so we should go towards the self through that Jnana. Don't get into worldly happiness through the intellect. Moreover, we don't want to do the egoism. I don't need it. I will not use it, nor will I touch it. There is no need to do such egoism. We don't need to have contempt, nor do we need to put a brake on it. Remain natural and spontaneous. Things will come according to our needs. Regarding the fundamental thing, Dada says nicely, a great scope has arisen here for all Mahatmas. There is no point in taking money. I am doing this much work, so give me this much amount of money. We arrange a small amount for some people who are doing seva. That is a different thing. That is our adjustment. But mainly, it is our heartfelt intention. In Dada's project of Jagat Kalyan, there are 100 to 150 projects. I am giving seva in that. It comes later in the book. Dada says, what will be considered as doing my seva? Take responsibility of the entire world. If you do seva of the world, then that will be equivalent to doing my seva. The volunteer at the information desk keeps speaking tirelessly when people ask, where is this? Where is that? There are coordinators. We went to Jaipur and Delhi for satsang. When people call the coordinator, they ask him 25 types of questions. What will happen after I get off the train? What if I don't get a berth in the train? If the train fare is higher, shall I come by bus or train? They ask so many questions. The poor guy says, please hurry up, I have to attend to another call. After 10 minutes, the same person calls again. Are the buses available to come back at night? Then is it okay if we come by bus? They keep asking so many questions to him. However, the poor guy keeps answering patiently. Yes, this will also do and that will also do. If you come in this vehicle, then it will be better. If you get down at this stop, it is just 5 minutes from there. It's not too far. Even after that, the other person calls and asks, it is safe for the ladies if they come alone, right? Yes, ma'am, there won't be any problem. This area is very nice. She will call again. I remembered one more thing. Is there any registration fee? Just look at this. People give them 7 to 8 calls for one trip. The poor guy gets fed up, but still he does inner penance. May they come here. Once they reach here, they will attain Jnana. Mahatmas are indeed using all their energy, money, time, and everything for others. That is equivalent to doing the greatest seva of the world. As a result, the byproduct will be very high. Dada had told Niruma, you'll attain a lot of grandeur as a result of doing my seva. We saw that. It came as a byproduct. However, her own inclination was not in enjoying it. She was certainly in penance. Still, it came externally. People could see that she has very nice facilities. That comes as a byproduct for sure. The law is such that the deeds done in this life, their fruits come in this life.
Secondly, Deepakbhai, it has been said that the female body can only be exhausted through doing seva.
Yes.
What is the science behind that?
It is certainly coming. I just happened to watch the satsang series Harmony and Marriage yesterday. In that, there is a chapter on the female prakriti or non-self complex. Dada says it clearly. The female body can only be exhausted through seva. Because the law is, there are 3 things. Seva, Sevak, and Sevya. By continuously doing seva, the intent of being a sevak arises. Beyond that, the intent of being a sevya arises. So, as one remains engrossed in doing seva, it is similar to the 3 components, the inner intent or bhav, that which instigates intents to arise or bhavak, and the one that becomes engrossed in the intents or bhavya. The bhavaks instigate the intents to arise, and if one remains engrossed in those intents, then she becomes a bhavya. Similarly, when the sevak remains engrossed in seva, then she gradually attains the state of a sevya. Now what does sevya mean? It means that the one who had gone in the wrong direction, in the illusory attachment of indulging in the pleasures of worldly life, she has turned around. I want to live for others. I don't want to live for myself. So if she continuously keeps doing things for others, then the female prakriti keeps getting exhausted effortlessly. Her children, her husband, and her mother-in-law, that is considered her own circle. That circle, she typically has a lot of abhorrence towards her mother-in-law and her father-in-law, so if she does seva for them, then that's definitely good. However, the ladies, when the seva coordinator announces, 2.5 tons of rice have come. Vasuben makes an announcement, ladies, the rice has come. Everyone be there to help remove the impurities. 400 women arrive there from Simandar city and Amba township and finish it fast. Nowadays, the quality of rice has improved so much that it has very few impurities or it has none. The wheat grains are so nice that the chaff, they say, it was finished in 1.5 days. We oiled it and filled it back. That's great. Why is that? Because they are doing seva with all their heart. The intent of each and every woman is, may Mahatmas eat clean food. May the right intellect arise within them. May they give lots of seva in Dada's project and do lots of work for the salvation of the world. So many women are doing seva in different departments like Sayam, Nirat, Unodari, and Gurukul. They do it with full responsibility. They do it with a single intent. May the health of the people who eat the food be taken care of. And if their health is good, then they will be able to give lots of seva in the work of Jagat Kalyan.
What is at work behind this?
Previously, she used to expend herself for her husband or her children. Now she is expending herself for Mahatmas. That is a big difference. There is kitchen work at home and it is here as well. But the entire motive has changed. Not even a single Mahatma is her relative, her family member, or her child. There is no connection at all. So she is expending herself for others. And when one expends herself for others, now the law is such that whatever the worldly interaction is, one remains engrossed in it, or one's belief is based on the worldly interaction. When she does this, her worship is that of doing Mahatma's seva. So her belief is in the intent for world salvation and of doing seva. Instead of I want it, the Prakriti is such that it'll say, I want to enjoy it. The Prakriti is such that it wants to enjoy it. Now, when it was expended for others, the entire process was reversed. Therefore, the female subatomic particles, the tuber which was going to get bigger, the tuber which was going to get stronger, that is completely getting exhausted. It was expended for others. In that, if she keeps expectations, I should get respect. It should be done according to what I say. Still, those faults are small compared to the big ones. She used to make others do according to her own will in the worldly life. Now she is doing that for seva. She will have to exhaust this Prakriti as well. I don't want to make others follow my will. But it is getting used on this side, so it keeps exhausting. This is a very big thing. The female subatomic particles keep improving. One says, I want to open a factory for my son. Then I will buy another shop for my third son. I want to buy 2 flats with 2 bedrooms. Why is that? He will say, for my 2 sons. They do that, don't they? And now he says, I have a flat. Use it for Mahatmas. I don't want to use it. I am buying an extra one for the purpose of investment, but use it for Mahatmas. There are so many Mahatmas that buy an extra flat and give it for seva to Mahatmas. Now that is considered as using money for others. And that breaks his illusory attachment for worldly life. That is considered attachment which will lead to liberation. Therefore, that becomes beneficial for his moksha.
One does not use it for his own self, but uses it for others. It falls under that category.
The inclination, the tendency of the people of the worldly life is to accumulate. It is very difficult to give to someone. That does not leave easily. So here one gives it for others. He expends himself, expends his speech, expends his mind, and expends his body. Moreover, he does it with intent. He adjusts his time, and thereafter he gives seva with full sincerity. By doing so, huge veils will break. Moreover, we are enjoying its fruits, aren't we? 300 to 400 ladies are working together, but there is no jealousy, no interference, and no competition against one another. They can all live with such pure love. Can 300 Bengals refrain from making a sound? They cannot do without making a noise. But here they say, not even a single Bengal breaks. There is no bickering, and we are living nicely and lovingly. We ask for updates, so we come to know. They do it with pure love and with all their heart. They say, we feel so much bliss. We do devotional worship. We sing praises of Dada. We feel it is our great fortune that we got the opportunity to do seva. What else can we do? We don't know how to do big things like help out with a computer. So we are doing it in a different way. We need seva in all places. Niruma used to say, whether it is the seva of sweeping the floor or the seva of giving a sermon, we give value to sincerity. The one who is insincere, he loses points. We have come to such a place where we can join in seva very naturally and spontaneously. We have got such circumstances. Now we just have to hold on to the accomplished principle. There is the intention of the past life and the fruition of doing seva in this life. But there are faults such as a lack of understanding and its kashaya, insistence, to do as per one's own will, to belittle others, that turmoil resulting from a lack of understanding, and kashaya. Clear all that by applying Gnan today. There is no need to make any changes in seva. Clear the kashaya that arise in seva through Gnan. This is the greatest accomplished principle. We just need to do this setting, this much multiplication. There is no need to make any changes in the activity of seva or in the intent of seva. Clear the insistence of doing seva and the kashaya while doing seva through Gnan. And that is going to come for sure. Because the nature of the Prakriti is such that seva will happen through the weapon of kashaya. Now we want to do seva wholeheartedly and with intent. Moreover, we will clear the kashaya through Gnan. May I get it and may everyone get it. It should not be like, I got more and the other person got less. or the other person got more and I got less. It should be, may everyone get the opportunity to do seva, and may everyone give seva wholeheartedly in Dada's project of Jagat Kalyan.